Hello, welcome to Lemon Stews, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, the Lemon himself, Zeke Lamona, and this is my review for Last Breath. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way. Sherry, I'm to leave a like, comment below, let me know your thoughts of Last Breath, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into the review, shall we? So, Last Breath, starring Woody Harrelson, Finn Cole, and Simu Liu as a bunch of divers. That is an adaptation of a documentary of the same name, I believe, of this extraordinary and just, quite frankly, a really unbelievable true story that happened with these divers as they went on a mission where something goes haywire wrong and then a miracle does happen at the end. And I was looking forward to this movie quite a bit. It's been a minute since, just seen like a good thriller based on a true story type movie. And, I love Woody Harrelson, and I'm a huge fan of Simu Liu too. I think he gets a bad rep sometimes, but I think he's a phenomenal actor. Really wish Marvel really would have jumped on the Shang-Chi train much earlier and just get him the sequel, because I do think he could have been the name and face of this current saga that we are in, but he's not. There is no name and face of this saga. But yeah, a huge fan of his. And Finn Cole, I have definitely seen before, but I could not recall a single project that I've seen him in. But I do know he is a hell of a talent, which he is in this movie too. All the acting is very, very good in this movie. But I will say, minus Finn Cole, and Woody Harrelson and Simu Liu have the top two bills. They're not the leads. If anything, they kind of are supporting in a lot of ways. Like, this is Finn Cole's movie for the most part. Like, we're seeing the movie from his eyes for the most part. Again, he doesn't have as big as a name as Woody Harrelson and Simu Liu, but this is his movie. And then after it's really not his movie because, something happens to him, then it kind of becomes about the crew that's above the water and seeing what they do about it. And they kind of become the main movie. Well, Simu Liu and Woody Harrelson are kind of just hanging out off screen for a good chunk until it gets back to them. But besides that, that's really my only big beef with this whole movie, is just with how the marketing is on the poster. That's literally my only beef with it, because there is a lot that I truly appreciate about this. Again, the performances are really good in this movie, but it's a very tight movie too. It's not doing any of the BS and all that. Some of the things I would have liked to see more expand on. Again, I would have liked to see more Woody Harrelson and Simu Liu throughout the movie, because after this, a catastrophic accident happens and they lose Finn Cole, while Simu Liu and Woody Harrelson's characters are just waiting to hopefully save this guy played by Finn Cole to save him in the depths of the ocean, but they got to wait on the boat to get back to them. I would like to see more expansion on that, see some more conversations, especially with how the dynamics of the characters are too, because when we get to the end of it, when we're wrapping everything up, it didn't hit as hard when it came to those two characters on where they're wanting to go, especially where their story ends, where they tell you where everyone is at now in real life. It's one of those types of true story movies where it ends and it goes, he went off to do this, he went off to do that, blah, 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 blah. And with how the movie was being presented, a lot of things just weren't resolved within that until we got to those where they are now. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. I would have personally liked to see some of those things being into fruition within the movie. Like, sure, we could have drawn some of the dots with it. But besides that, really, I have no notes when it comes to it. When we do cut to the boat crew, and you've seen the captain making these calls, like there's the scene where everyone's going, look, if we go manual, we're risking everyone on board. He goes, yeah, but if we don't, we definitely lose a guy. If there is any slimmer hope that we can save this dude, we need to go and take it. And they're like, all right, let's lock in. And then they go to manual and all that. It was a really good, powerful moment. And again, just the character moments of like just feeling the weight of how serious this whole situation is, knowing, hey, this is where this person needs to go to be here to have any chance of survival. Okay, you need to go here. All right, y'all stay over here. It is a very, very good movie once it does happen, because it does take a little bit to get started. But, the movie is 90 minutes long, so a little bit is 15 minutes, that whole first act. Once you get into Act 2, this movie flies, and I mean truly, truly flies, to the point where I had an absolutely great time at the theater. Again, if I was to find criticisms, I think the only thing is like I would have liked a little bit more seeing a Woody Harrelson and Simu Liu, seeing those character dynamics there. I felt more fulfilled when we got to the end to the end of the movie with the, again, I can't really talk about that fully unless I'm talking openly about spoilers, which I don't want to. I don't want to talk spoilers about this movie, but where these characters end up and like a moment that's supposed to be big just doesn't feel as big because, again, I didn't really spend the time with that character to really fully understand where they are coming from. Was it presented to me earlier? Sure, absolutely. But that is one of the weak points when you do have a 90-minute movie. Sure, your movie flies by, but some things do, feel left on the bone. And those character moments with, who are supposed to be our two main leads in the movie, that's just how I felt within that. But yeah, besides that, again, a very, very, very fun ride. I am very, very curious to watch the actual documentary that is based off of, so I can have that expansion on all those things, and not just with my main characters, but with the characters above too. Like some of these people are very, very interesting that I do want to know more about. So the movie did its job to me. But have you had a chance to see it? Comment below. Let me know your thoughts on it. Leave a like if you made this far within the review. I do greatly appreciate it. And again, hit that subscribe button as we head into a bunch of content heading your way. If you're into wrestling, we're on the road to WrestleMania. Daredevil debuts tomorrow, so we're going to be covering that as well. Invincible is on right now, along with Reacher. So hit the subscribe button for all that content heading your way very shortly. And until next time, guys, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.